Hi, welcome in to the first revision vlog in quite some time. If you're new here, my name is Brielle. I'm currently working on my debut fantasy duology. I'm just coming out of NaNoWriMo and working on the sequel for a month, and now I am diving back into book 1, which is very exciting. I have a lot of feelings around this. As we stand now, we're about 6 days into December, and I've revised about 6,600 words, which is a great place to be. I'm very on track for my goal of revising 25,000 words this month. If you're not familiar with my project, Unraveling is a new adult fantasy with enemies to lovers romance and dystopian vibes. And as mentioned, I'm hoping this is going to be my debut novel. I'm currently in the absolute thralls of draft 2. Maybe 18 chapters in now, 16, 17, somewhere in the teens in terms of chapters. And the goal is to hopefully finish draft 2 in the next month or two. So I'm going full speed ahead, trying to maintain the sort of pace that I was writing at during Nano to try and make serious progress on this draft, which is really exciting. Today is a Friday, and I actually have a little writing session planned with Becca Tobar, if you guys don't know her. She makes great videos. I'm such an admirer of her channel, but we're gonna FaceTime and get a couple writing sprints in, which I'm very much looking forward to. Before that though, I do wanna go for a little walk. I wanna secure an iced matcha because I've run out of matcha powder in my home, which if you guys know me, that's like devastating level. I thrive off of making myself iced matchas, and so the thought of not having one every day is like a little difficult. I've already ordered a restock, not to worry, but it hasn't arrived yet, so still waiting on that. Other exciting things that are happening. I'm feeling great about jumping back into revision so far. Is it tedious? Yes. But am I still making progress and moving through this a lot faster than I was when I was revising previously? Also yes. And as I mentioned in my last video, my sort of NaNoWriMo wrapped, the motivation is really high right now, and I'm trying to lean into that, use it, and have that help me propel myself through this second draft, because to me, draft 2 is the bulk of the work of the project. Like, I really hope I'm not proven wrong as I get into later drafts, but I feel strongly that I'm upfronting a lot of the work that this book needs right now. And so it's intense, but I'm feeling really excited to continue working through it with you guys in the next few months. So yeah, I think we're gonna go on a cute little walk, get a nice matcha, and get fueled before our writing session today. What I've been aiming for every time I go into a writing session is to revise at least about 1,000 words. That is the pace that will keep me on track for this month. Trying to revise 25K, even if I miss a few days, if I'm averaging at least 1,000 words a day, some days more, I feel like I'm really set for success. So those are the vibes. And without further ado, let's go get some matcha, my favorite. This matcha that you see right here, $8.55. That's how much this matcha was. 16 ounces, unsweetened, with oat milk. Totally plain, clear cup. I always thought people were a little bit dramatic when it came to complaining about coffee shop prices, but now when it's almost $9 to get a matcha, I don't know, dude. I was kind of hoping the cafes here would be substantially cheaper than LA, but at least a few of them that I've encountered are straight up there with the LA prices, if not worse. So, but we have our drink, which I'm very happy about, and we're getting ready for the writing session with Becca. I'm in what I like to call the manuscript intimidation phase, which is right before a writing session when I look at the document and I'm like, oh, this is so daunting, like actually so daunting. And it's so typical because as soon as I get started, it's fine. And this is how I feel with a lot of different tasks. It's like the act of starting is for some reason such an obstacle and so daunting, even though once you're actually doing the task, it's totally fine. The only thing that helps me work through this is the knowledge that this happens like almost every time and that this is so normal and everyone suffers from this like getting started intimidation. So it's gonna be fine. Once we start typing, it's gonna be fine. About to get into writing sprint number 1. How cute is what I did to the top of Smog's tank? If you don't know, Smog is my bearded dragon. And I recently decorated the entire top. There's records now, there's plants. I think it looks really cute. Gotta do what you can to pretty up the giant black square that is his tank. So you may have noticed that I was wearing some new glasses during that writing session. As someone who spends quite a lot of time on screens working on writing, client work, YouTube editing, I'm trying to get better about wearing blue light glasses when I'm working on my computer, and these glasses are from the sponsor of today's video, Vooglam. Vooglam has a wide variety of glasses options from prescription to blue light to sunglasses, and Vooglam's online prescription glasses process helps you to get more choices and convenience compared to in-store prescription glasses. And their blue light blocking glasses are great for artists like me who spend a lot of time on their screens and want to protect their eyes to prevent fatigue and eye harm. I got 5 different pairs in a mix of styles that I'm going to be showing you. The first is the ones that you guys just saw. This is the Raquel in clear. Very classic, very simple, clear frame. I'm obsessed with these. This is gonna be my go-to, I feel like, for any casual writing session or video editing. This is like a perfect, simple pair. Next up, we have the Gagenia in silver. These are so fun. I love that these feel like a mix between very like studious in the front with the silver frames, but then also like very fun because it has these colorful stripes along the side. And these are very much giving me revising Brielle vibes, which is my revision alter ego. The name of this next pair is actually Rhea. These are the Rhea glasses in blue. If you know, you know. This pair is a gorgeous dark blue color. I love these. So sleek. So classic. Feels very professional, but also fun. Like, I love the shape of these. And to me, this is giving my freelancer alter ego. This is giving, she's ready to read your manuscript. Obsessed. Rounding out our selections with the last 2 pairs, we have the Betsy in brown. These have really fun little stripes along the side and a bit of a boxier frame. I love that these simultaneously feel very like classic, but also very fun with a little bit more of a retro vibe. Super cute. Last but not least, we have the Quentin in pink. And these are so fun. Very Y2K. They have these little clothespins with hearts on the side. I'm all about curating the vibes when it comes to being a writer, really leaning into that identity and doing little rituals and sweet little things that just make you feel like you're ready to get into a writing session. A little something like this, throwing on a pair of glasses that just make you feel like an artist, like a writer. That's the vibe I'm trying to be on this winter. If you want to check out any of the pairs of glasses that I showed off in this video or any of the other countless styles of glasses available from Vooglam, you can use my discount code Brielle15 for a discount on your first order from Vooglam. I will of course have them linked in the description. Thank you again to Vooglam for sponsoring this video. Let's get back into the vlog. So it is now Saturday. Getting a little bit of a lazier start to the morning. It is very gloomy out, as you might be able to see, so I'm like just trying to take it a little easier today. Yesterday's writing session went really well. I got about 1,600 words, which was really productive. Becca and I ended up doing 2 sprints at 25 minutes, but then the second sprint was going well for both of us, so we just kind of kept silently working past the timer going off. So I got some really great progress. The scene that I'm in right now, I'm in chapter 18, and it's like one of the longest chapters in the book. It's like 4,000 something words, which for me is on the higher side. I tend to have shorter chapters. That's why I have quite a lot of chapters. And so I've been working on the same chapter for the last like 3 writing sessions, it's dragging a tiny bit just because getting to a new chapter, getting to star the chapter that I just completed, which is how I'm keeping track of which chapters have been revised in Scrivener, is really motivating for me. So to be kind of stuck in the same chapter for 3 writing sessions is like a bit of a slog, but that's okay. We're making good progress and I'm feeling really content with how things are going. Nothing is fundamentally changing about this scene. One of the biggest things that I'm having to do is just convert summary into actual scenes and material, because there were quite a few points where I was just summarizing way too much, especially in this chapter. And honestly, in this whole section of the book, I feel like I was doing a lot of summarizing for some reason instead of giving us actual dialogue and interaction. So I'm trying to convert a lot of that just to give myself the proper material to work with going forward instead of like a weird summarized version of the material. Obviously, there's a time and place for summary. Sometimes you need it to kind of skim over things that you're not interested in deep diving into, but I can't quite remember my frame of mind at the time. I'm sure I thought, oh, this is a lot of summary, I'll flesh this out later. I hope I thought that. Otherwise, I'm concerned. But I also think, especially since I've been doing more critiquing work and beta reading and all of that, I've seen the importance of not over summarizing and how, even though technically time is moving faster when you're summarizing because you're getting through more plot very quickly, it actually can slow pacing down quite a bit because there's nothing for the reader to really sink their teeth into in terms of actual character interactions or specific details. And so I'm trying to be very conscious of that. But overall, I was feeling really good yesterday. And I love that I've been doing more writing sessions with friends over FaceTime and things like that because it's really fun, motivating. It's easy to just text someone and be like, hey, want to hop on FaceTime and get some writing sprints? That activation energy is a lot easier than trying to like get myself to do a writing session all on my own. You know, not that that's like overly difficult, but it is just like more easy to commit to writing with a friend. As I was editing the clips from yesterday, I was reflecting on kind of the coffee shop clips that I got and some thoughts that I have around that, because I've gotten to the point now where I'm pretty shameless about filming in public. Like, I do get embarrassed, don't get me wrong, but I do it anyway. Like, I take clips well aware of the fact that I'm being stared at by multiple people. I bring that up just because I've gotten many comments in the past of people being like, I want to start an authortube channel, but I'm scared, I'm embarrassed. Like, I don't want my friends and family to see it. I don't want to have to film, like it's too embarrassing, blah, blah, blah. And so I guess I just bring this up to say, take it from me, there are worse things in this life than being embarrassed. So do it anyway, because I was very much like that. Like, when I first started YouTube, I was whispering every single time I filmed because I was scared of my roommate hearing me, which, to be fair, filming for the first time with a roommate is intimidating. But I was like so terrified. I would never film in public. Like, even if I was filming on my iPhone, I was trying to make it as sneaky and hidden as possible. If I was filming at a cafe, I was getting a weird angle so that no one would see my phone. And now I just really don't care about that anymore. Honestly, it allows me to get better footage when I'm out and about because I have no qualms with just like lifting up my phone and getting a clip very obviously to the world. So I think it's benefited my videos, but it's also just like very freeing to just be like, yeah, people are gonna stare. That's okay. They can wonder what I'm doing. That's fine. And I'm just okay with that. And I just don't look at them and I do my thing and I get out of the coffee shop and it's fine. So I just wanted to bring that up because I want to encourage any of you who are interested in making content in whatever form to really go for it, embarrassment aside, because it's inevitable, but I also think you'll survive it. Like, no one's ever actually said anything to me really. And yeah, I feel a little bit awkward, but to me, it's worth it. So I think we're going to go to a cafe and try to get some words in this morning. Nothing crazy. I would love to just put in like an hour, maybe get 1,000 words. I have quite a few deadlines coming up in terms of content and critiques and stuff. And I'm trying to get everything under control before I head back to New Jersey for Christmas and the holidays and all of that, because I'm very much planning to write in New Jersey, but I would like to minimize the amount of like work tasks I have to do, because to me, writing won't feel like work. And the idea of writing in the holiday spirit, maybe at a cafe in New Jersey, sounds amazing. But what doesn't sound amazing is like rushing to hit deadlines while I'm in New Jersey. So I'm trying to front load as much content and critique work as I can before I head back to New Jersey. With all of that being said, that's going to have to be a bit of a priority today, but I do still want to get some writing in to close out this video and to keep on track with our writing goals, because things are going very, very well, I feel like, right now in the word count department, and me actually staying on top of the pace that I need to be moving at this month month to reach my writing goals. So I'm feeling really good. I feel like 25K was kind of the perfect goal to set for myself. Achievable, but ambitious enough where it's keeping me accountable to write consistently instead of me just being like, well, I could hit this goal if I wrote once a week. Like, no, I could not hit this goal if I wrote once a week, but it's doable if I'm writing at a pace that I want to be, if that makes sense. I said something in a stream the other day that I really liked, and so I'm gonna reiterate it here in case you were not there. Somebody basically asked, how do you find balance between setting writing goals and kind of being kind and gentle with yourself? And what I said was, a writing goal is helpful if it's making me write more frequently, more hours. It's making me put in more hours into the project. A writing goal is not helpful if it's making me rush as I'm writing. For example, let's say I set a more ambitious writing goal than usual for a week. If I end up writing twice as many hours that week in order to achieve that writing goal, staying at my normal pace of about 1,000 words per hour, that's a win. That's a good writing goal. I set that properly. I moved my schedule around to make that happen. If I set that same writing goal and wrote the same number of hours that I normally write, but just trying to get through it faster and rushing, being sloppier, less intentional, that's a failed writing goal, because my goal with trying to be more ambitious with my writing and take my writing more seriously is not to get messier with the process, to get to publication faster by slapping things together and half-assing this book. The goal is to write more hours in the week, more hours in the day, more hours in the month. And so that is what I'm trying to focus on. And I feel like this monthly goal is making me show up more frequently, making me put in an hour almost every day. And that to me is a huge win. It's not so big that I feel like I have to strain and stretch beyond my normal capacity to reach it, but it is making me show up to the page more frequently. And that is a huge win. Last thing I'll say before we head out to the cafe, because we do need to get this show on the road, I did get a comment asking if I would be interested in creating a track bear leaderboard. If that is something that would be of interest to more people, let me know. I don't know how many people in my audience are using TrackBear or would be interested in using TrackBear if there was a leaderboard that I created. To be fair, I have not really looked into this leaderboard thing in detail, so I can't really provide too much information. My guess is what it would be is that we can see each other's progress. Let me know if that is of interest. Let me know if you use TrackBear. Sound off in the comments. I have gotten some miscellaneous comments of people being like, what software is this? I want to look into it. So I know at least some people are interested in it, but I don't know how many people are actively using it. So let me know down in the comments, would you be interested in something like that? I do think that would be fun. And if there's enough interest, I'll make it. I just want to make sure that at least a few people would be interested before I go through the process of making a leaderboard. Let's go to the cafe and get a little iced matcha. Yes, I just had a cup of tea and I'm about to have a matcha. I will not be hearing any feedback on that at this time. Hello, we are back from the cafe. I got so in the zone that I forgot to actually film myself writing. Like I got all the clips of the vibes and the setup, but when it came to actually writing, I was like apparently too focused to remember to get typing footage. But anyway, I had a really fun time at the cafe. I was there for about an hour and a half, really got in the zone. I think I revised 2,694 words, which sounds insane. The scenes I was working on were definitely on the cleaner side. Obviously, depending on what chapter or scene I'm working on, sometimes I'm doing a lot of rewriting and picking things apart and basically building it from the ground up. And other times the scenes are in pretty good shape. Nothing drastic needs to change developmentally, and I'm really just polishing or tweaking specific details. These sections that I was working on today were a little bit more in that lower workload, more polishing sphere of revision, which was really nice because it allowed me to move through the end of chapter 18 really quickly and get through chapter 19, meaning that next writing session will be hitting the 20s in chapters, which is very exciting. The midpoint is chapter 23 or starts at chapter 23, meaning that we are really closing in at being halfway through this draft, which I'm like ecstatic. I think I'm going to feel so proud when I'm done with this draft, knowing how difficult it was. The only thing is I don't need to just get to the end of the book for draft 2 to be done. I also need to go back because The first 5 chapters I got some beta reader feedback on, and I want to implement that feedback before I move into draft 3, since it's changes that I already know I want to make and I already have the feedback to work from. So once I get through the entire book chronologically, I'm going to revisit implementing those beta reader notes, and then I'll probably do a printout of draft 2. So still quite a bit to come in terms of draft 2, but it does feel like we're finally making substantial headway. I'm so glad that I'm focusing on the final word count of the chapters rather than like the word count Scrivener is giving me, because I realized Scrivener's word count for the session is subtracting any words you may have removed. So it's very misleading. Like Scrivener would tell you I only wrote 100 words, but I think the progress is more so how many chapters did I get through, you know? I am trying to kind of rewire my mindset around revision to acknowledge and embrace the fact that I don't want to change things just to change things. And so in a chapter like this, where I'm actually pretty happy with what's on the page as it currently stands, I don't want to just swap out the way that I'm wording things for no reason or make random arbitrary changes that I'm not sure about just because I need to feel like the book is changing enough, if that makes sense. I want to let some of the work that I did in draft 1 stand on its own. And if there's a scene or a chapter that came out pretty cleanly or pretty well aligned with what I want it to be, I'm gonna let those words stand, you know? I might change some things, I might polish some things, finesse and fine tune a little bit, but I'm also not gonna be like, well, no words from draft 1 can make it to my beta readers. Like, why? So I'm just trying to like have that mindset shift and not worry like, oh, am I not changing enough? Am I not letting this chapter get to its full potential because I'm accepting how it was instead of pushing it further? Like some chapters don't need to be pushed further, at least not at this stage in the process. If I feel like it's up to the standards of draft 2, then it's up to the standards of draft 2, and that's okay. And I could always get suggestions from my beta readers or come up with something later down the line that will help me to up-level this chapter and make it even better. But for now, I'm happy with it, and that's enough. You know, we will see whether or not one more vlog gets filmed before I head back to New Jersey for the holidays. If it does, it'll probably be like a balancing writing, content, and freelancing type of week in my life. I feel like that would be fun, and it would allow me to film while getting my pre-holidays checklist done. If you made it to the end of this video, comment down below a coffee emoji of some sort or some sort of beverage, boba, matcha, some sort of beverage emoji. If you want to get a cool little pair of blue light glasses for yourself, make sure you check out Vooglam at the link in my description and use my code brielle15. Also a reminder that I do have manuscript critique services that I offer. If you want to get in my books for 2025, set yourself up for writing success next year, feel free to check that out at briellewrites.com. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Happy writing, and I hope all of your projects are going super well, and I hope you're excited to be back in revision vlogs. Not gonna lie, I kind of am, and I cannot wait till one day I can say we've finished draft 2. All right, bye.